Okay, so bachcho, in the last class we were talking about aldehyde and ketone, and in today's class we are going to talk about some reactions involved in the formation, in the chemical properties of aldehyde and ketone. So you can say that reactions of carbonyl carbons, the carbonyl compounds. Carbonyl compounds means you are talking about aldehydes and ketones only, right? So we know that if we want to produce aldehyde or ketones, so we did this in alcohol. So I think you remember this. So for example, if you have alcohol, which is actually primary alcohol, so you can see this is a primary alcohol. The carbon having OH on the same carbon, you have two H's as well. So when you treat this with acidified potassium dichromate, you will see this, you will have aldehyde form, right? And we know this, if you remember, in alcohols, so it can further be oxidized to convert into carboxylic acid. So if we want to stop this reaction over here, so what we need to do, heat and distill of the product. If you distill of the product, so definitely it won't be oxidized further, so it will stop over here. So remember this, you need to stop the reaction at once you will have aldehyde from, right? और अगर आपको further oxidize करा देंगे तो definitely आपके पास carboxylic acid बन जाएगा, फिर aldehyde नहीं बनेगा. तो जैसे ही आपके पास primary alcohols convert हो जाए aldehyde में, just distill of the product. So this is primary alcohol that can use to form aldehydes, right? Right, we know this. And then secondly, we also know this, for example, if you have secondary alcohol, so this is secondary alcohol, the OH on such carbon where only one H is placed, right? So if you oxidize this, so it will convert into ketone. It will be converted into ketone. So it is always for secondary alcohols. Secondary alcohols can only oxidize to ketones. Remember this, बच्चों. Primary aldehyde में convert होते हैं, aldehyde carboxylic acid में convert होते हैं, और primary alcohols can directly convert into carboxylic acid as well. But secondary alcohols जो होते हैं, they only converted into ketones. And for this, if you want to have some conditions, so इसके लिए you can use acidic potassium dichromate, or even you can use acidic potassium permanganate as well, because there is only one conversion, right? So secondary alcohols are going to convert directly into ketones. So even if you are using potassium dichromate or potassium permanganate, it does not matter. But in the first one, जहाँ आप aldehyde बना रहे हैं, we are using potassium dichromate just because of this, क्योंकि potassium permanganate बहुत strong oxidizing agent होता है. तो most प्रोबेबिलिटी ये हो सकता है कि आपके पास जो अल्कोहल है वो डायरेक्टली कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड में कन्वर्ट हो जाए. इसलिए हम एहतियात के तौर पे जस्ट वी आर यूजिंग अ लिटिल वीक ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट व्हिच इज पोटेशियम डाइक्रोमेट, राइट? यहाँ कोई मसला ही नहीं है, यहाँ पर आपका जो दिल चाहे आप यूज कर सकते हैं, राइट? एंड फॉर दिस यू नो दैट वी नीड टू कंप्लीट द रिएक्शन, सो यू कैन यूज हीट अंडर reflux, right बच्चों? You guys know this, right?
Yes, sir.
चलिए इसको अपने पास जरा जल्दी से लिख लें. Let's talk about the further one. So we know that ये सब कुछ होता है हमारे पास. और दूसरा ये कि if you want to talk about this one, so even you can convert this one into carboxylic acid, right? Or you can say that you can convert these back to the alcohols, right? So actually, if you talk about this, so this is oxidizing agent, right? And this reaction is actually oxidation, right? These are oxidizing agent, right? And these reactions are actually oxidation. So we know that when we can do oxidation, so there should be some reduction as well. So this is the oxidation process, right? And these guys can reduce as well back to alcohol. If you want to produce alcohol from aldehydes, you can reduce them, right? If you want to reduce, so you need to use a reducing agent. And the reducing agent that you can use is sodium borohydride aqueous. You can use this, right? Or even you can use what? Lithium aluminum hydride, but it should be in dry ether. You need to use this in dry ether, and for these two, you need to do heat under reflux. Or you can even use one more. If you remember in alkenes you did, आपको याद होगा कि हमने यूज किया था हाइड्रोजन गैस in the presence of nickel with 200 degree centigrade temperature. So you can even do this one as well, and this is known as reduction. And the most strongest reducing agent over here is this lithium aluminum hydride. So I think it is the best one जो कि आपको याद रखना है और जो आप सबसे ज्यादा इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. And the same as over here as well, you can reduce ketones as well to form secondary alcohols again, right? So यहाँ पर आप क्या करेंगे? You can again use sodium borohydride aqueous. Even you can use this with heat under reflux, or even you can use lithium aluminum hydride in ether, right? And again, you need to use heat under reflux, right? And if you want to use hydrogen gas with nickel catalyst, so you can even do this one as well at 200 degrees centigrade temperature, right, bacho? Is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's talk about some example questions. It's pretty simple. For example, if you find example in exam that you will have this compound, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have these 5 carbons, for examples, or 40 carbon, these 4 carbons, right? For example, you have these 4 carbons, and these will be like this, right? Formed like this. So for example, if you treat them, with what? Lithium aluminum hydride in ether, and you just do what? Heat under reflux. You just do what? Heat under reflux with this. So you will find what? You will find these are going to be converted back to the alcohol. देखें आपने करना कुछ नहीं है, just आपने इनको same लिख देना. पहले तो सबको एक साथ लिख दो. These are as it is, right? And then आपके पास जहाँ हाइड्रोजन है वहाँ हाइड्रोजन लिखे रहने दें आप, right? These are on their places. And number the soil कि मैंने यहाँ पर हाइड्रोजन लिख दिया, यहाँ पर नहीं आएगा हाइड्रोजन, right? So over here, right? These are over here, right? Okay, sorry बच्चों, ये इसकी storage full हो गई तो ये end हो गया. Okay, so we were talking about the example, like if we have 4 carbons, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. Over here we have carbon double bond oxygen H, right? Over here we have carbon double bond oxygen, and then this molecule, right? And we know that if we are treating this with lithium aluminum hydride in ether, right? And we do what? We do heat under reflux. So what is going to be happen, right? So just remember बच्चों कि जो कार्बन्स हैं उनको वैसे ही रहने दें, और कार्बन के साथ जो हाइड्रोजन्स लगे हुए हैं उनको भी वैसे ही लगे रहने दें, इनको डिस्टर्ब ना करें, ठीक है? The only thing that you need to remember कि यहाँ पर आपके पास this is ketone and this is aldehyde. So just you need to remember बच्चों कि आपने करना क्या है, इन दोनों के डबल बॉन्ड को आपने ब्रेक करना है. तो this double bond is going to be broken, and यहाँ OH लग जाएगा ताकि ये वापस से अल्कोहल बन जाए और नीचे H लग जाएगा. So this is reduction of aldehyde and ketone in the same example, right? You just need to remove double bond of oxygen and just attach H with oxygen and one more H down the oxygen, right बच्चों? Clear है?
Yes, sir.
Challenge. One more example. If we consider this example, this is the very perfect example over here. Example number 2. If you talk about example number 2, for example, you have this molecule. This is the molecule you have, right? And you are just treating this with lithium aluminum hydride and ether, right? Dry ether. You are doing heat under reflux over here, and there is a compound X which is forming. Then you are treating this X with concentrated sulfuric acid at 200 degrees centigrade temperature, and it is forming what? Molecule Y. So I just want to ask you guys what you need to do. Can you solve this question, bacho? It's pretty simple. This is actually skeletal formula. So just look at over here. What you need to do, this is remain same. There is no effect of the lithium aluminum hydride on this close chain, right? The only effect over here is it breaks the double bond and from OH, right? One OH and one H. But we know that we are talking about what? We are talking about a skeletal formula. So we don't need to write H's over here. So this is the structure that is going to be formed, right? Then we know that if you have alcohol, for example, a carbon having OH, and beside the carbon we have H as well. So if we treat them with sulfuric acid concentrated and at 200 degrees centigrade or aluminum oxide at 350, so they can remove and form double bond with the elimination of water, and this process is known as dehydration. So bacho, you need to keep remember this can happen over here, right? Or even the carbon which is on the third number is also having H, so it can even form this one as well, right bacho? Right bacho?
Yes, sir.
चलें, क्वेश्चन नंबर 3, एग्जांपल नंबर 3 की बात करते हैं. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट एग्जांपल नंबर 3 बच्चों, तो एग्जांपल नंबर 3 में क्या होने वाला है? जस्ट लुक एट ओवर हियर एग्जांपल नंबर 3. एग्जांपल नंबर 3 आपके पास होगी. फॉर एग्जांपल आपके पास ये मॉलिक्यूल है CH3 twice CO. You are treating this and having what? Q, right? And then you are treating it again this Q, and you will get what? CH3 CH double bond CH2. So just look at over here. This is a very good connection of the compounds. You can see this is what? C double bond O, and on both sides we have CH3. That means it is ketone. So ketone can only be converted into alcohol, and then alcohol can only be converted into alkenes, right? So you need to keep remember this set of conversion, right? So if you remember this, so you know that you need to add lithium aluminum hydride in ether, and you need to do what? Heat under reflux to convert this into alcohol. So we know that this carbon oxygen double bond is going to break, and OH and H is going to be compensate over here, which is going to form secondary alcohol. And then this secondary alcohol is going to treat with concentrated sulfuric acid at 200 degrees centigrade to form alkenes, right? Or you can even use aluminum oxide as well at 350 degrees centigrade to form this, right? And this is reduction, we know that. And this is what? Dehydration, you need to remember. Right, bacho? Is that right, bacho? Right, बच्चों आप कंफर्म करेंगे तो मैं आगे बढ़ूंगा. Okay, so let's talk about this example. This example is very important to understand. देखें ये वाली example ज़्यादा important है आपके समझने के लिए. Example number 4. बच्चों, for example, you have this molecule CH3, CH, double bond, CH, CHO. If you treat this molecule with NaBH4 aqueous, or if you are using lithium ammonium hydride in ether over here, so what is going to be happen? Just look at over here. This is going to be happen over here, that the molecule will remain same, this double bond will remain same, and this CHO, which is aldehyde, going to convert into primary alcohol, right? This is what? Reduction. But remember, if you are doing the process with hydrogen and nickel at 200 degrees centigrade, so you need to keep remember this, that this CH3 will remain same, but this is one of the condition you can apply on alkenes, and alkenes are going to convert into alkanes. So you need to keep remember, in this condition, alkene is also going to be broken down into alkanes, and aldehyde is also going to convert into alcohols. This is the main thing that you need to understand with this H2 plus nickel वाली condition. ठीक है बच्चों, ये important है, समझ में आती है बात? उसके बाद you know that if you have aldehydes, अगर आपके पास aldehydes हों and you just add acidified potassium dichromate into this, and you need to do what? Heat under reflux. So you need to remember this, that this aldehyde can be converted into carboxylic acid, right? So this is what you need to understand about aldehydes and ketones, right बच्चों? Is that clear, every one of you? बच्चों जवाब दीजिए बेटे. बेटे आप लोगों को मेरी आवाज आ भी रही है या नहीं आ रही है? आप अनम्यूट करके बता सकते हो मुझे. ठीक है, मुझे नजर नहीं आ रही ना स्क्रीन, आप लोग मुझे चैट कर रहे हो, मुझे थोड़ी नजर आएगी स्क्रीन, क्योंकि मैं तो स्क्रीन शेयर किया हुआ हूँ. ठीक है, तो आप मुझे अनम्यूट करके बता दिया करो. चलें, नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट सम टेस्ट. तो दीज आर द लास्ट राइट नाउ, उसके बाद हम 8 बजे वाली क्लास में करेंगे टेस्ट फॉर aldehyde, right? You have 2 tests for aldehyde. Number 1 is tolerance reagent. You can use tolerance reagent to check is that aldehyde or not. What is tolerance reagent? Tolerance reagent is ammonical silver nitrate. This is ammonical silver nitrate, and silver nitrate is a colorless solution, right? So once you are doing what? You are using aldehydes, right? And you are checking this is aldehyde or not. So you add what? Silver nitrate over here. So when you add silver ions over there, you will see that these silver ions are going to oxidize these aldehyde and going to convert this into carboxylic acid. ये हो गया आपके पास oxidized. क्या हो गया ये आपके पास? Oxidized हो गया. And then silver ions receive 1 electron to become silver. Silver ions खुद क्या हो जाते हैं? Reduced हो जाते हैं. खुद क्या हो जाते हैं? Reduce हो जाते हैं, और आप वहां जो है आपके पास एल्डिहाइड को ऑक्सीडाइज करा देते हैं. एंड जब सिल्वर आपके पास मेटल बन जाता है, तो इट इज शोइंग यू द सॉलिड in the bottom, which is a silver color. So you can say that this is add tolerance reagent, the test. Add tolerance reagent is actually the test. And what will be the observation? The observation is silver mirror form. You can say that silver mirror form is actually the observation of this. If this is going to be happen with the test tube where the substance is present, that means that substance should be aldehyde. That substance should be aldehyde, right? You can even use phalanx reagent as well. This is also one of the reagent which can be used to test aldehydes, right? You can use Phalanx reagent. It is also used to convert aldehydes into carboxylic acid, right? So aldehyde is going to convert into carboxylic acid by the use of Phalanx reagent. And Phalanx reagent is actually what? It is actually the solution of copper sulfate. And we know that copper sulfate is actually blue in color because we have copper 2+ ion over there. So copper 2+ ion receive 1 electron over there and become what? Copper +1 ion, और इसका होता है brick red color के precipitates होते हैं, brick red precipitates. So you just need to remember the observation of this test is blue color changes to या brick red precipitates बन जाएंगे आपके पास. This is also one of the tests for aldehyde. ये दोनों के दोनों एल्डिहाइड के टेस्ट हैं, कीटोन के नहीं हैं. यू नीड टू कीप रिमेंबर दिस, राइट. उसके अलावा एक और टेस्ट है आपके पास जिसका नाम है डाई नाइट्रोफिनाइल हाइड्रोजीन टेस्ट, एंड दिस इज द टेस्ट फॉर कार्बोनाइल कंपाउंड. ये किसका टेस्ट है? ये कार्बोनाइल कंपाउंड्स का टेस्ट है, यानी कि एल्डिहाइड और कीटोन दोनों का टेस्ट है, राइट. इफ यू ऐड दिस dinitrophenyl hydrazine, so the observation will be the color change from yellow to orange. This confirms that आपके पास जो कंपाउंड है या जो सब्सटेंस है कार्बोनाइल कंपाउंड्स हैं. इसके अंदर या तो कीटोन हो सकता है या एल्डिहाइड हो सकता है. और अगर आपको फर्दर कंफर्मेशन करनी है तो आप Phalanx या टॉलेंस रिएजेंट डाल दें. अगर टेस्ट वहां पर आ जाता है, कंफर्म हो जाता है, कलर चेंज आ जाता है, तो आप बोलेंगे ये एल्डिहाइड है. और अगर नहीं आता है तो आप बोलेंगे ये क्या है? कीटोन है. ठीक है. तो डाइनाइट्रोफिनाइल हाइड्रोजीन कुछ इस तरह का होता है. डाइनाइट्रोफिनाइल हाइड्रोजीन, यहाँ पर NO2 ग्रुप लगा हुआ होता है, यहाँ पर NO2 ग्रुप लगा हुआ होता है आपके पास, यहाँ पर होता है आपके पास इस तरह से ग्रुप. ठीक है ना. जब आप इसको रिएक्ट कराते हो, डाइनाइट्रोफिनाइल हाइड्रोजीन, ये यहाँ पर ये इसी तरह से होता है, बिल्कुल ये इसी तरह से होता है आपके पास. ठीक है ना. डाइनाइट्रोफिनाइल हाइड्रोजीन इसी तरह का एक मॉलिक्यूल है. ठीक है. जब आप इसको रिएक्ट कराते हो किसके साथ? किसी भी कार्बोनाइल कार्बन के साथ ना, किसी भी, अब हो सकता है ये आपके पास कीटोन हो या ये एल्डिहाइड हो, ये मसला नहीं है. ये क्या करता है? ये आपस में ये ऑक्सीजन और ये कंडेंसेशन रिएक्शन कर लेते हैं, जिसकी वजह से कलर चेंज नजर आता है आपको. तो देखें ये वाला, इसको कुछ नहीं हुआ, इट विल रिमेन सेम. ठीक है. ये अपनी जगह पर मौजूद है, ये NO2 अपनी जगह पर मौजूद है. दिस N विल रिमेन ऑन इट्स प्लेस, राइट. यहाँ पर ये बॉन्ड किसके साथ कनेक्ट हो जाता है? ये वाला जो बॉन्ड है ये वाला कनेक्ट हो जाता है इस कार्बन के साथ. ठीक है ना. और ये डबल बॉन्ड बना लेता है इस तरह. तो दिस इज एक्चुअली द न्यू कंपाउंड विद वाटर एंड दिस इज नोन एज कंडेंसेशन रिएक्शन. दिस इज नोन एज कंडेंसेशन रिएक्शन, राइट. एंड यहाँ पर कलर चेंज क्या होता है? येलो टू orange. This is the test for any carbonyl compound. Is that right, बच्चों? Right, बच्चों? ओके बच्चों, आज के लिए फिलहाल अभी इतना ही है. बाकी हम 8 बजे वाली क्लास में करेंगे इंशाल्लाह. 8 बजे वाली क्लास के अंदर हम इसके आगे की बातें करेंगे और